so lost. And now they know now, we never slow down. I never thought now, these girls that come around. Don't love these hoes now, she love me for my sound. I'm posted in the clouds, I'm never coming down. Don't love these hoes now, I never thought now. I saw it on your face, you calling me the one. You said I never changed, but now that shit is done. We vibing to the beat, your girl she next to me, no place she'd rather be. It's kinda hard to see, and now they know me. She called me on the phone, she say she lonely, she won't leave me alone. She step up in the booth, ain't fucking with you. You did that shit in 3, I did that shit in 2. So in love with you. Now you see my vision, saw I flew away out at midnight drifting. I never thought now, these girls that come around. Don't love these hoes now, she love me for my sound. I'm posted in the clouds, I'm never coming down. Don't love these hoes now, I never thought now. I saw it on your face, you calling me the one. You said I never changed, but now that shit is done. We vibing to the beat, your girl she next to me, no place she'd rather be. It's kinda hard to see, and now they know me. She called me on the phone, she say she lonely, she won't leave me alone. She step up in the booth, ain't fucking with you. You did that shit in 3, I did that shit in 2. So in love with you. Now you see my vision, saw I float away out at midnight drifting. I never thought now, these girls that come around. Don't love these hoes now, she love me for my sound. I'm posted in the clouds, I'm never coming down. Don't love these hoes now, I never thought now. I saw it on your face, you calling me the one. You said I never changed, but now that shit is done. We vibing to the beat, your girl she next to me, no place she.
Yes, guys, welcome back to another stream, back with another podcast. You guys loved these last week, so we're bringing it back tonight. And unfortunately, we're quite, short on guests for this one. There's no Tony because he weaseled out due to the fact I exposed him last week. No AT, unfortunately. Thom will be coming on later on, and Seb will also be coming later on. But just for now, it is the four of us. We got negative Thom in the building. The 14 Cannon, you weren't on last week. You're on tonight. How's it going, bro?
Good. For the first time in a long time, I've started to question Mikel Arteta into what's really been going on at the club and the form that Arsenal are in recently. And it seems to be now I've done that and sort of called out what's going on. I'm negative. I do it for clicks. I feel like Luca, to be honest with you. But anyway, how are you keeping?
Bonnie, Luca.
Of course.
And obviously, Josh, how's it going, bro? You good?
Yeah, big up, man. Great to be back again. Bless up the panel. Great to be Tops once again back with us and Thom as well. Looking like Odegaard. I said it backstage, people. I'm sure I'm not anyone can see it. He literally has got Odegaard, but big up to him, man. And big up. Thanks for having you back on as well, Rory, man. Should be a good show.
Yeah. And obviously, Tops, I mean, it was a late call, but how's it going, bro? You were ecstatic when I gave you the DM. Well, you sounded ecstatic anyway, but how's it going, bro?
Pick up yourself. Finally, I'm happy to make my debut on the channel. Obviously, pick up the panel as well, good to talk to you guys again. And yeah, looking forward to the chat, man. A lot to talk about, especially after, obviously, weekend's performance, man. So yeah, can't wait to get stuck into it, man. But big up yourself for the invite, of course.
Yeah, of course. The channels will be in the description, so make sure you drop them all a sub once the stream's obviously done. But this one we're going to be obviously touching on the Wolves game. We obviously won the game as expected, but at what cost? And then obviously Victor Gyokeres. I think it's about time we start talking about him. And then the Everton game at the weekend to wrap things up. But of course, there's only one way to start, and that is the Wolves game. And we'll start off with Thom for this one. Seeing as you got the most stick after doing that Arteta video. Obviously, I'm going to go last because obviously you guys probably want to know my thoughts on the game, considering my match reaction was like 40 seconds long. I tried my best to forget about this game like it never happened. But yeah, Thom, what do you make of the game overall, bro? And players that stood out. Although there
Wow,
wasn't really
Semenyo's just scored at Old Trafford, 1-1.
Oh, what a goal.
Great goal. Great goal.
Oh, nice.
Anyway, more importantly, the question. It's just really uninspiring now. It's not the first time we've seen it as well. And for it to happen to Wolves, who are arguably the worst team that the division's ever seen, at home, for us to not be clicking against them, I think there's clearly something wrong. Clearly something wrong. Whether that be creativity-wise, the fact that we play with such stubborn tactics, we don't know. However, what I can confirm is if it continues like this, we're not going to win the league, because City, if we stay in this title race, City will be with us until game week 38. And one thing that I did point out in my video was, if you look at Arsenal against Wolves, we managed 2 shots on target the whole game out of 16. And technically, we didn't actually score. If you look at Manchester City the day after, who go away to Crystal Palace, which on paper is a much harder game than bottom of the league at home, I think we can all agree on that. They had 7 shots and 6 of them were on target. So not only are we not taking our chances, but we're not efficient enough. We're not even testing the goalkeeper, Sam Johnston, which for me is not good enough. If you have players on the pitch like Gyokeres and... Oh, there's a scrap here. Sorry, I've got a game on beside me. But if you've got players like Gyokeres, like Martinelli and Eze and Declan Rice, you expect more. You expect more, especially as a goalkeeper. So for me, that was disappointing. For me, Saka dragged us out that game. I thought by far he was our best player. And he has been recently. Last 3 league games, I'm looking at Villa. Who else was it? Brentford and obviously Wolves. I think he's probably been our best player out of those games. I thought he was absolutely electric at Villa Park. I don't know about you lot, but I thought he was great. One of the only forward player really that looked like giving it a go. Obviously, it doesn't help that Trossard came off in that game. I think maybe it's a different story, but defensively as well, I think considering we kept 8 clean sheets in a row, there's been a massive drop off. Look, injuries this, injuries that. Players that are coming into the team are strong. You got Ben White, who has been superb for Arsenal, consistent performer whenever he's played. Timber, who again, consistent performer. But these same fans want to put him in the conversation for the best in his position, which rightly so, because he is incredible. But more importantly, the players that have come in, like Hincapié, albeit he's new to the league, but he's a Bundesliga invincible. And to be honest, I haven't been impressed so far. I think he's looked a bit rash at times, and stuff like that. I think he needs to keep his head. He's very much like Gabriel when he first joined. He just needs to calm down, you know. But Arteta did describe him as a warrior, and we are clearly seeing that. But one thing that does baffle me is not playing Miles Lewis-Skelly, not starting him. You know, your best left back this season, Calafiori, is out with suspension. Just go with your other left back choice in Miles Lewis-Skelly. You don't have to reshuffle the whole back line because of one player's out. Keep players where they're best suited. And Saliba, he's not a left-sided centre-back. He plays there for France because he's forced into the team. he's a right-sided centre back. He's a right-footed centre back, a right centre back, and left-footed at left centre back. It's not that difficult. Yeah, it adds more balance, and it just doesn't help. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I think the lack of Martin Odegaard is clearly seen because I think when he doesn't play, again, there's a drop off. Eze, I think, has been good at times, but he's too inconsistent. He really needs to step up, especially in games like this. And I know we're going to talk about Gyokeres later, so I'll keep this brief, but I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed. When you've got Gabriel Jesus coming off the bench, who's doing more than your £60 million new number 9, new number 14, by the way. Yeah, it's not looking good. I'm not impressed so far, but I suppose one other positive to take is we get the week off. We go again Saturday night at Everton. There's no real there's no game during midweek, so it gives the team, the squad, the manager especially, an opportunity to really wake up and see what's going on, really, because yeah, something's not right at the moment and it needs fixing, and the only man who can find that out is Mikel Arteta. So Mikel, good luck, but something needs fixing.
Yeah, facts, bro. Sops, we'll go to you next. Yeah, we got the win, but again, it's just not good enough. This has been a continuation of, poor performances. It's not like the one-off game where you perform poor, but you still get the win. Like, this has been consistently in the last 3 games. You look at Chelsea, Villa, and Wolves, really poor performances. Like, we're not counting the Bruges game, by the way, because, that was in the Champions League. We're talking like Premier League games, right? Where consistently we're not being great recently. But what do you make of the game overall, bro?
I think his Wi-Fi, he's gone.
Oh, shit. We'll go to Josh then.
Actually,
we'll go to Josh.
Before you do, sorry to cut off, but I do think that is an important thing to note down. Outside of the Premier League, so far this season, I think we have been absolutely fantastic, superb, won every game. So credit to Mikel Arteta there before, I get spammed with, oh, look at what we're doing in the Champions League. I'm talking about the league form. It's been a reoccurrence for the last 12, 18 months now. We've seen it go through the season, a drop-off. So maybe it's a mentality thing, but something needs fixing. But
Tom, I look at certain players, like Martinelli, for example, as well. How good he is in the Champions League.
I'm telling you, it's a psychological thing with Martinelli because he is superb in the Champions League. It must be a psychological thing, playing in the biggest competition in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
I
mean, like this is the thing, right? That I was thinking about. These players, when it comes to Martinelli, Eze, etc., they can't really
United.
To Man United. But anyway, we'll go to Josh next year as obviously topped his Wi-Fi. Hopefully it does, or else that's a killer, All that bloody I feel for him. I really do. But yeah, Josh, we'll go to you next then. He's back.
Yeah, go to Tops if he's back.
my internet went, man, and it just froze.
Oh my days!
Just as you were talking to me as well. Yeah, what are you saying, bro?
Yeah, we'll go to you next regarding the game. Obviously, it's been, in terms of consistency in the Premier League. Well, not consistency, but like recently, I would say these last 3 away games have not been good enough. Right? You look at Chelsea, Villa. I know Wolves wasn't away, but I'm speaking on like the last 3 Premier League games. It's not like the one-off where you perform poor but still get the win, right? These have been really poor performances in the last 3 Premier League games, and I just want to get your thoughts on this whole blooming situation at the moment, and whether or not you're confident that we will maintain this consistency, because like we've seen this script before, innit?
Yeah, we have, bro. Like, that's kind of the worry when it comes to Arsenal. Like, we've seen, obviously, this team be in this position before where we're playing well or start the season well, and then we end up obviously falling towards the second half of the season. For me, I think going on like you said, the performances. I think for me, like one of the kind of alarming things I've like noticed is the fact that we've got like some of our attacking players back. I'm thinking that Arteta's making some mistakes in terms of the starting lineup, like certain positions or certain players that are starting certain games. It should be the other kind of player or the other option starting. Like, for example, when we played against Aston Villa, you're thinking that's going to be more of a transitional game. They're going to be pressing quite high up the pitch. They're at home. They're in very good form. You would expect him to play someone like a Gyokeres up front, for example, with a bit of pace, that kind of transitional threat. Maybe someone like Eze in the 10 rather than on the wing, because again, he's more of a transitional kind of number 10. You see how transitional he was at Crystal Palace. Ends up going with Odegaard, who's more of a controller. So I feel like that in particular is kind of an instance where he's put the kind of the wrong profile of players for the wrong particular game. And I think, again, with Arteta, I think he does struggle when he's got a lot of options to pick kind of the right options as well when it comes to kind of the attacking options as well. Like, you're looking at the likes of obviously bringing off Saka in the Aston Villa game, and the Madueke came on, didn't really do anything. That's obviously one instance. Then even with this game, obviously you're playing Gyokeres, and obviously everyone would have said, yeah, you probably need to start Gyokeres because he needs a goal. But then you're playing against a low block. He's not going to get space in behind. Tactically, like, you're probably better off playing Marino because we were just putting crosses into the box, and obviously Gyokeres isn't good in the air. So it didn't really make tactical sense of how we were going to try and score a goal with Gyokeres up there, because we weren't passing to him in terms of like playing him through on goal. He wasn't in the game. He's not very good at his hold-up play so far for Arsenal this season. So yeah, I just think in terms of going forward, man, some of the kind of decisions to play certain players in certain positions for certain games, I think he's definitely costing us or making games harder than they need to be when it comes to obviously attacking and starting the game well. I'm more concerned as well, like you said, about how we're starting games too, because a lot of the games were wasting 45 minutes. You look at Sunderland, because we didn't really do anything in the first half, 1-0 down. Chelsea was 0-0, didn't really do anything either. Aston Villa were 1-0 down. This game, it was 0-0. These are in the Premier League. So I'm thinking and looking at it thinking, well, these games, man, we're not making the most of the 90 minutes. We're kind of going into that either going the goal down or it being 0-0 and not having played well or created chances. So I think, yes, there is obviously a period of time where in the season you're always going to have like a drop off in terms of form, but it's how you kind of manage that and dictate that kind of drop in form. And I feel like for me, the standards are just dropping lower and lower based on each game that comes, man. So yeah, I'm kind of concerned and worried, man. And I'm thinking it's a mentality thing because, again, all the players feeling the pressure. You're seeing Manchester City playing better now. Obviously, more players are scoring, not just Haaland. You got Foden chipping in, Shirky's getting a few assists as well. Are they actually feeling the pressure? Obviously, the points are getting slightly smaller and smaller. It was like 8 points, now it's 2. They've got West Ham next, so we're probably going to be second going into the Everton game obviously at Saturday evening. So I'm not sure, man. And again, it's one of those things where because Arsenal have not won not only the league but not won a major trophy, these group of players, you have to question the mentality until they end up getting over the line and doing it. Until they do it, man, it's always going to be in the back of your mind, is this team good enough in terms of mentality-wise? Because I think talent-wise they are. Are they good enough to actually, when the pressure's on and you got to play a semi-final or you get into that kind of crunch end of the season, kind of get over the line? I'm not too sure, bro. But yeah, it's worrying concerns, man, about how we're performing and obviously the team selection in particular in terms of picking the right profile of players, not like the favorites or people that you like or people that need a run of form. Like, you got to pick the right profiles for the certain kind of players, especially because with how we play in terms of our tactics, he's very particular in terms of how he wants his team to build up from the back, the attacking kind of patterns as well. So you kind of need the right personnel in there if you're not going to change and alternate your game. So yeah, worrying signs, man, but hopefully we can bounce back against Everton, bro.
Yeah, agreed. Josh, do you echo what Tops and Tom have been saying? Or
yeah, I think they're both summed up really perfectly. To be fair, like for me, coming out of that game, is a feeling for me like we didn't actually deserve that win. That's the feeling I got coming out of the game. I was like, wow, we got lucky. We rode our luck completely, and we're playing against bottom of the league Wolves, probably one of the worst sides in the recent history of the Premier League. Out there with that Derby County side that got that 10 points that season. They may even get that. You know, they've not won a game this season. You know, they've drew 2, right? They've conceded about over 33 goals, whatever it is. Man United score 4 past them, away from home, by the way, as well. We're at the Emirates, and I think everyone was very, very confident coming into the game. I predicted 3-4-0. I'm sure most of the panel predicted a free, you know, a comfortable night, goals as well, and a clean sheet. Because we're top of the league, you know, this is, I know football's not played on paper, but look at the team we're playing against. I don't want to sound too disrespectful then, because I thought they came to the Emirates and they made it so frustrating for us. But that's probably one of the worst I've seen us play this season, and we've won the game, which is quite mad to say. But we shouldn't be coming out of these games against these bottom of the league sides. And it just had flashbacks to previous seasons when I'm watching yesterday. And honestly, the Southampton game was the one I was looking at.
Yeah, they bought the same kit as well, the exact same colour kit.
Very similar kit. Very similar situation. I know that was a bit later on into that season, but they were bottom of the league as well. That Southampton side was awful, and I feel like definitely we hadn't really learned. And if it wasn't for the 2 own goals, which is mad to say that as well, because literally that first goal comes off Sam Johnston, right? Off the post, I think, goes in. And then that second goal was ironic, is that Mosquera guy, the one who touched up flipping Jesus and all that and flipping chokeslammed Havertz in the last, that sort of karma right there. But if it wasn't for
that's one of the few positives.
Probably that is it. But we shouldn't be saying this against bottom of the league Wolves. And this sort of last couple of weeks have been so reminiscent of previous seasons. I think we're seeing the same old, and I think what you guys said is the mentality ends of the day. And I look at it, and I think it's actually concerning signs. It's this December period again, and it seems a common theme when Arsenal get to this December period. We saw it last season and the year before as well, where something like this just happens. We always have this blip, and ultimately these are the games that we look back on, and we go back at the end of the season saying, well, this is one of the reasons why we haven't got over the line this season. But I looked at it, man, and I just felt a bit embarrassed. Like, yes, we won the game, but this is not just one game now. You look all the way back to the Sunderland game, for example, where we do so well to get back in front in the game, 2-1, and then we can lack of concentration towards the end. We can see, then we drop points from me. And then I go to the Chelsea game. They're 10 men Chelsea. They're there for the taking at 10 men. And then we end up not only getting a point in that one. And then you look at the Villa game, another last minute goal. For me, I look at a few reasons. I've noticed this as well. We go a goal front like we did against them, and I think it took too long to get the goal anyway, and it was a bit of luck. But we had, what was that, 74th minute, wherever it was. We had 15 minutes to go and get 2-3, mate. Go and completely kill them off. And we didn't, 1-0, then one cross into the box. That's all it took for them. And I had that little feeling at 85th minute. Nerves. There was always, because of course, they'll be looking at it thinking, right, we're 1-0. We've got nothing to lose now. Might as well just go for it. That's exactly what they did. And we shouldn't not be feeling nervous against Wolves at the Emirates, with all due respect to them. This awful Wolves team. And they've, that goal goes in, and I'm thankfully, Jesus, I know it was an own goal, but sort of involved in that one, saves us from an embarrassment, because I think it would have been an embarrassment. And for me, I look at it, we've gone from 7 points clear, 2-3 weeks ago, to now 2 points. Villa now 3 points behind. And you look at them both yesterday, Man City got the job done away at Selhurst Park. Maybe I didn't even watch the game. I don't know how well they played, but the point is they got a clean sheet. They got the job done. They're going to keep winning their games, I think. And I'm not even right about them, in my opinion. I'm right about us. I'm right about us in these games coming up. Now, again, I think we're going to have a bit of luck. I know we maybe talk about Everton later on, but Everton are missing Njai. They're missing probably Jack Grealish. They're probably missing a few other players as well. We get that. We're playing a weakened Everton side. Still doesn't mean, look who we played at the Emirates, and we barely scraped a win against them. But, we probably will be Everton, but it's just I'm just seeing the same old problems coming season in, season out. At the end of the day, nothing has really changed when it comes to the Premier League side of things in this stage of the season and these teams. I definitely think we took Wolves for granted. And I'll just quickly say with Thom as well, I agree what you're saying with the team selection. Why is he not trusting Miles Lewis-Skelly? This guy played week in, week out effectively last season. This guy played very, very well week in, week out last season. You think about the Man City games and then in the Champions League as well. This guy was trusted to step up, and I thought he did step up. But you're just messing around. You're putting Timber back at left back, right? And then, then we Ben White as well getting another injury. And now he's out for a month again. with a hamstring injury, whatever it is. Like he's been rushed back,
Bad
obviously.
luck.
Yeah, that's what they'll say. Oh,
It's
bad
not.
luck and all that. He's obviously been rushed back, hasn't he? Once again, and this is the thing with these. We're gonna keep picking up more and more of these injured players because I think we're rushing a lot of these players back, and we need to have serious conversations. People, that's what they say. Oh, it's bad luck. No, we need to look at the actual problems. What's going on with the flipping medical team, mate? What's going on with these training methods? Because many of these injuries was picked up in training anyway. Like I look when Kai Havertz got injured last season, he got injured in the by training when he did a pressing drill. So we need to look into this. People can that was a big excuse that was used last season on why we dropped off. But we're having the same problems again this season. I think majority of the squad have already picked up an injury, barring maybe the flipping goalkeeper and maybe like Calla and a few other players. Yeah, but majority of if you go through the
Calafiori
whole
has
team,
an injury.
well, there we go then. If you go through majority of
Yeah.
our team, every single
Yeah,
player has picked up some type
unfortunately.
of injury. And now it seems like we get players back and then one goes down again, and this happens every single week. So that's another thing there. But this is how mad it was. I'll quickly end on this. This is how embarrassing for me it is, and how bad it is that we've only beat them 2-1, because I was expecting more rotation than he actually rotated. I thought the team he played was actually strong. Probably one of the strongest we could possibly go with, apart from not playing Lewis Skelly. You know, we had Raya in goal, we had Julian Timber, we had Saliba back in there, right? In Capier. We had flipping, what was it, Rice, Odegaard, and Zubi, right?
No, Rice.
Sorry.
Yeah, Eze.
Odegaard's off the bench, wasn't he? We had Rice, Eze, Zubi, and then we had flipping Saka, Martinelli, wasn't it? And then Gyokeres. Like, I was surprised. I thought, oh, hold on a minute. I thought it was Norgard at centre back, like he did against Club Brugge. Thank God he didn't, because maybe we'd be talking about a different result right now. But yeah, I mean, overall, bro, I feel worried, mate. To be honest with you, this is why I never get on the hype train when people talk about the league's wrapped up in January and December. You know, this is why I don't get on the hype train when people start talking about trebles and all that. You know, like, listen, we're doing well in the Champions League. I'm not denying that. But the Champions League, right? I want to see when it really matters in the league, in the knockout stages. That's why I really want to see when it matters, because that's when it really does matter. Yeah, it's all when like Liverpool won the league phase last season. They played PSG in the last 16 and they got knocked out. PSG didn't even get top 8, and they flipping won the whole thing. So it's good that we're doing well in the Champions League. But I said it earlier, Thom, like players like Martinelli, balls out in the Champions League, right? Flipping, what is he got? 6 goals in 6 games, wherever it is, 5 goals, whatever it is, right? Scored in every single game pretty much. Look at him in the Premier League. Like, and maybe we saw this last season as well, when we're beating teams PSV 7-1s and around just 3-0s, and it doesn't really like match the Premier League form. I think maybe that's because teams, the setup's a bit different, and that's another thing as well. Just quickly, like I'm still right about the low block guys playing against these low block teams. I still think we struggled a lot last season. I think these certain games we've seen teams do it, but we got out of jail, like from a set piece or something like that. Like I look at Fulham, you know, set piece, like other teams, we always find a way, like, and somehow, as I said, we rode our luck with the 2 own goals. So I'm still concerned about that. You know, these next couple of games, Everton, we got to play Villa again as well at the Emirates. I think there's another one in there that I'm missing. Is it Bournemouth in there as well?
Brighton at home, Bournemouth.
Brighton's the other one. Yeah, Brighton's the other one. These next games, man, like, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I ain't getting all giddy, and I'm not getting gassed because stuff like this happens and performances like this happens. But yeah, that's all really, man.
Yeah.
I think just quickly, actually, on the injury front, I agree and disagree with what Josh said. I don't think it's that they're being rushed back with all of them. I think you could make the argument with some of them, but I think most of them, Saka from last season, Gabriel, these players are being run into the ground. They're not. The squad management is not. It's not been there this season, you know. And when we talk about that team, you know, Ramsdale in goals, Zinchenko left back, the team that played 8 together and won all 8 of them. We didn't see that team again because burnout. Mikel Arteta was running them into the ground. He wouldn't manage his squad. And it's like, Arteta's been given everything this season that he needs. He's got the sporting director that will do the business. He's got the ownership that will back him. But most importantly, he's got the squad to go and get it done. So why is he not using it? Why is he not using it? Why do we have to play Saka every single game?
Yeah.
Why
That's
is
another thing. That was Madueke.
Yeah,
like.
that-
why is
I was about to say
Madueke
that.
not getting minutes? What's Ethan Nwaneri done to this guy?
Exactly, bro. Exactly. Like
I don't know.
Noni scores a brace against Club Brugge, yeah, performs balls out against Brentford, and then he balled out against Brentford and then he got dropped for that against Villa, didn't he? He didn't play against Villa. And then he
You know what it is,
against Bruges
Josh?
as well.
Low key, right? I think Madueke got told off for scoring that goal.
Yeah,
He actually did.
showing a bit of
Because he
talent,
don't like
mate.
shooting from outside the box. Well, Arteta doesn't anyway. I think
Exactly.
Martinelli got the same as well, because when did you see him scoring or
Mm.
shooting at least from outside the box?
Yeah.
This is another thing I actually wanted to talk about. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but when Wolves scored, most of the fans walked out the stadium.
Oh,
Yeah.
And I'm like, where the fuck are you
Mate.
going?
mate.
Fair enough, right? Listen, if it was a midweek game and you left early, fairs, right? You got work in the morning, etc., etc. But it's a Saturday night. It's 1-1 with 6 minutes left, and it's against bottom of the league. Where are you going? Why are you not staying until the end? Like, listen, I don't go every week, but the fair few games I've been to, right? For instance, Southampton at home 2 seasons ago,
2-2.
we were 3-1. What's happened, bro?
Bournemouth score.
Evan
equaliser.
Nilsson have just scored within a
Evan
minute of the
Nilsson.
second
All
half.
2-2 there.
Oh damn.
But yeah, as I was saying, right, when I went to the Southampton game 2 seasons ago, we were 3-1 down until the 89th minute. I could easily just walked out, because we
Yeah.
all thought the game was wrapped. But then we managed to score 2 goals in the space of 2 minutes. And then everyone ended up running back to their fucking seats.
Embarrassing.
Oh shit, we scored. I'm like, well, stay in your seats until the end because you missed this sort of action. If you're not going to stay until the end, then just hand over your ticket to
Yeah.
someone else that will commit to the fucking club.
I'll have it.
Because these lot are just
Brutal.
fucking clowns.
Yeah. Tom, I think Tom said it perfectly on the group chat.
You paid
said-
to watch the football.
Yeah, and also you was like 1-1 or 6-1 down. You say to watch your teammate end of the
Yeah.
day.
That's what, because
Simple as
that's what
that,
you
really.
pay for. You don't pay to stand outside Arsenal tube station hoping to get home early. Yeah,
Exactly.
just take
That's
it.
why, right? They don't have the match on the big screen anymore. Like
Yeah.
when
Yeah,
yeah. Because again, the club are just sick and tired of fans paying that amount of money to watch the team play, only to just sit in the lounge area and just it's just not on. I think it's about time that we talk about. In fact, I'll tell you what, right? I'll just have a little piece on this as well, because you lot obviously rightly pointed out about the lineup. I don't know why he's going with a double pivot, right? And we mentioned Madueke just then, but where the fuck is Norgard, by the way? It seems like he's more trusted at centre-back than he is in midfield,
Yeah.
which is madness. And if he can't start against bottom of the league, if he can't rest
He didn't get a
Zubimendi...
minute, by the way.
Yeah, so Zubimendi played 90 minutes against Club Brugge. So he sat there thinking, right, surely he's going to get the rest. No, he's starting against Wolves. And he ended up getting brought off, I think, within, was it like 60 minutes? Something like that. I can't remember. But for me, I think if you are going to go with a double pivot, at least rest one of the midfielders. You don't have to play Declan Rice and flipping Zubimendi. You just don't. Especially when he played 90 minutes midweek. It's just not on. And then you've got Eze in the 10, right? Which, for me, and I don't know if you've... I'm trying to think of an example, right? Morgan Rogers at Aston Villa. You may have noticed, right, the way Emery utilises him against these sort of teams, against Wolves, West Ham, right? I think Morgan Rogers at the weekend played as the centre attacking midfielder, right? He played as the attacking midfielder against West Ham, scored an absolute banger. Against these teams that are going to sit deep, you see Morgan Rogers as the attacking midfielder, but it's the other way around, as at left wing, in fact.
Left wing,
Yeah, left wing. He plays there basically to open up that space because they know he's probably one of the best dribblers in the Premier League and he's been on some insane form. Right? In these big games, you tend to see the attacking fielder because, again, what the did my microphone
lagging.
just fucking...
Yeah.
Yeah, lagging, yeah.
Okay, now.
Refresh.
But as I was saying, right, can you still hear me, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's a bit delayed now.
Yeah. It's lagged. Yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake. But, yeah, as I was saying, right, Morgan Rogers, in these big games, you tend to see him in the attacking midfield position, right?
Yeah.
Because there's more space to occupy. Whereas against teams that sit deep, he plays as the left winger. We should be doing the same with Eze. But of course, Emery gets it, doesn't he? He plays Morgan Rogers as the attacking midfielder in the big games, but he plays him as the left winger in games that, you know, are going to be tight. And lo and behold, he was a difference maker in that game because he scored an absolute banger. But for some absurd reason, we decided to start Eze last week, or maybe 2 weeks ago by now. I don't know, but he started Eze as the left winger against Aston Villa and started Odegaard, which wasn't the game for him. Didn't start Gyokeres when I pointed out before the game, against that high line, you don't start fucking Marino there. You just don't. Then, the following week, you put Eze in the 10 against a team that sits deep, which, you know, I've not seen anything from Eze to warrant that he's going to break down these low blocks because he's just far too casual. So that's the thing with me, right? It should be the opposite. It should be vice versa. Eze should be played as the attacking midfielder when there's space occupied. And then on Saturday, he should have been the left winger instead of Martinelli. And then, you know, last week, he should have played Martinelli as the left winger. So, for me, that's what Arteta got wrong for me. I think, you know, Eze should have been the left winger. I'm not saying play him left wing every single week because I don't think he is. But there's certain games where Arteta just needs to...
Yeah.
What happened, bro?
Marcus Tavernier.
Oh, my days.
Brilliant
What was
free
winning?
Brilliant free
I'm actually
kick.
watching the game, you know.
I need to get the game on. How long's left?
We're about 40 minutes.
Gone, man. Yeah, 40 minutes.
Only 40 minutes.
52 minutes.
Well, we're in the 52nd
Oh.
minute. So it's about 40 minutes left.
Yeah, 40 left.
Jesus, man.
Yeah. But, guys, I think it's about time, I think, we start talking on Gyokeres. Now, this could actually cause, you know, some debate. And for me, and I'll go first on this one, right? I think he's not really impressed so far this season. I think we can all come to an agreement that he's not really, you know, he's not really ripped up any trees. Like 4 goals in 16 games is not good enough, right? In the Premier League. However, I'll say this now, I refuse that this guy has turned crap overnight. That's what I will say. Because you can't go from scoring 100 goals in one season to then the following season, you're playing like you've got some toolbox attached to you. Like, that's not on, bro. There's got to be a system issue. And if it isn't a system issue, then why aren't the rest of the attacking players flourishing? Because I'm not seeing Saka rip up any trees. I'm not seeing Eze doing anything. Martinelli, from his performances in the Champions League, I mean, does that mean, like, he's crap? No. The only player that's really showed any consistency this season has been Trossard. That's it. But even that's not enough. The rest of the attacking players have been below par. Right? If the rest of the attacking players were stepping up, I'd sit there and go, I'll tell you what, maybe Gyokeres is the problem here. Because, you know, there's these comparisons with the likes of Højlund and Gyokeres, etc. But Man United had players like Ahmad and Bruno Fernandes, etc. last season, right? Who could produce magic out of nowhere, right? Arsenal right now, I'm seeing lots of Saka hiding. I'm seeing Eze hiding. Odegaard hiding. Martinelli hiding. I mean, Marino has had moments here and there. So I think if anyone's saying it's not a system issue, like, I don't know what to say. Because you look at the players that we have in attack currently, they're not ripping up any trees either. So are they now all crap? Or is it just Gyokeres? But we'll go to Tops on this one. What do you make of this situation, bro?
Yeah, I kind of agree with you, man. Like, listen, I'll say, obviously, like you said, I don't think Gyokeres is blowing up any trees. I think in terms of like a technical standpoint, he definitely needs to improve just the basics in terms of being able to control the ball, being able to hold up a bit better, not just trying to use his strength and muscle to try and feed off defenders, because every defender, even the Wolves defenders, are strong in the league. It's not like the Portuguese league. So from that perspective, I feel like, yeah, there is elements of his game that I think he has to improve on, and I think he probably will if he gets obviously the more kind of minutes in the kind of league, playing in the Premier League. But I think for me personally, it's more of a system issue. I think we all kind of agreed, even when we got Gyokeres in the summer, like he was going to be a success if we change how we play going forward in terms of from an attacking point of view. And I don't think we have. I think we just play literally the same. This is why I feel like when Marino comes back in and Jesus comes back in, everyone's saying how are they looking better, but it's because the system set up for a number 9. It's a system set up for a player to drop in deep, be involved in play, trying to link up, trying to create their own chances. We've obviously had that the last 2 or 4 years, not been successful, not won any trophies with it. So we actually all wanted a bit of a change in terms of profile when it came to a different kind of striker. But the problem is the team as a whole hasn't adapted to this profile at all. Like, there is no kind of game. There's only one game I would say probably in the season where I feel like we were kind of playing towards Gyokeres' strengths and we were kind of finding him all the time was the Olympiacos game in the Champions League, where Odegaard was constantly finding him time and time again. I think that's kind of the only game. And obviously, again, that game was a bit more space in behind him on the stand because it's in the Champions League. But the other games, man, I'm seeing him kind of not really get the ball, not really having many touches. And I feel like a player like that isn't going to have many touches. But I think he needs to be in a team that has a large kind of creation in terms of players being able to kind of find the kind of like balls he wants, the kind of runs he wants, playing in behind, playing down the channels. That ball that Trossard played in the second half is kind of the delivery or kind of service that he kind of needs. But again, we're kind of just trying to play like we're having a Kai Havertz up front or a Marino, where obviously we're getting the ball to Saka. He's kind of playing that inward kind of cross with his left foot, where you've seen like Marino score at Stamford Bridge with it. You've seen Havertz score at Brentford with it in season before. But that's not Gyokeres' strengths. Like, in the air is not where he kind of thrives. So I think, me personally, I think there has to be a change. And like you said, bro, it's not just him in terms of the attack. I think there is kind of question marks on how Arteta is obviously building up the attack in terms of consistency, in terms of patterns, in terms of fluidity, in terms of dynamism. I think he gets a lot of credit, and rightfully so, for the defensive structure and how defensively sound we are, not just our actual defenders, but how we obviously defend as a team. But I think going forward, even last season, even with the injuries, I think we could all obviously come to the conclusion that we did lack a lot of attacking kind of threat and prowess. We relied a lot on set pieces. We have this season, and I feel like it's kind of in the same kind of rhythm this season. There's not a lot of games where we're creating a plethora of chances. I know it's hard against low blocks, but that's why we brought in the likes of Eze. This is why I feel like Eze's been a bit misprofiled. Like you said, I think certain games he's more obviously more suited to be playing on the left, where there is kind of like a high like a low block kind of situation. You play him on the left, you can dribble past plays, you can create space on that left hand side where it's a bit congested in the middle. And then when there's like a more of a higher line kind of threat, you play him in the middle, but on the left 10, not the right. Because again, I feel like, and this is another problem I think Arteta does have, where he has different styles of profiles, but expects them to play the exact same way as his favorite profile. So, for example, Odegaard goes out, like last season, for example, he puts Trossard in there, but Trossard's nothing like Odegaard. This season, you've seen Marino go in there, but Marino's nothing like Odegaard. Eze, again, he likes the kind of the left-hand channel to, obviously, he gets better angles with that because he can go on his left foot, right foot. He can shoot, obviously, tee up to shoot. He can pass across goal like he did for the Gyokeres goal against Nottingham Forest. So I feel like just these kind of attributes and kind of profiles that he's getting a little bit wrong is kind of contributing to us not being so fluid in terms of going forward and attacking, man. So I do think there is a little bit of a problem. And like I said, I think with obviously Gyokeres, again, it's not all on the system. He has to do better. He has to take his chances, even if it's minimal when he gets them. And obviously, he's not doing that. I do feel like he was picking up a little bit of momentum through that Burnley game. That was actually the game where he was holding up the ball pretty well. He created a couple of chances for Saka. He scored as well. And he was involving in the game. So it does prove he can have that element of his game. But I think ultimately his kind of main strengths are him getting in behind goal, him kind of like again for Sporting, how many cutbacks did he score? We don't really cut the ball back. We just cross it into the box for like headers and stuff. So that's another kind of element of our attacking structure. I need to see us improve on and develop a little bit if we're going to get the most out of him. But yeah, it is a bit of a worry, man. I looked at our top goal scorers this season, man, in the Premier League. You got Eze on 4, Trossard on 4, Marino's on 3, Gyokeres is on 4, Saka's on 4. We're nearly coming into 16, 17 games of the season, and no one's hitting even near the like double figures. So, and I can't remember a team. Maybe it was Man City with Gundogan, who I think got like 13 league goals. Normally, there is a guy that gets 15 plus, 20 plus in the season for that kind of title winning team, and we don't look like we've got anyone nowhere near that so far. So. Yeah, man, I think the defense in the first half of this kind of season definitely was stepping up, but because of Gabriel's injury and Saliba and stuff like that, we're having to rely a little bit more on the attack. And I think the attack's kind of letting the defense down a little bit, where in games where we need to kind of maybe create more chances because our defense ain't at its best, we're kind of not seeing kind of enough kind of attacking fluidity and enough kind of dynamism in that attack for us to create more chances against people like Wolves and Brentford and stuff like that at home. So, yeah, man, worrying signs. But with Gyokeres, obviously, I would still give him obviously some more time. I still think, again, there's obviously players to come back. I think there is an opportunity for him to play Gyokeres and Havertz together. I think he has hinted at before. So we'll have to wait and see if that actually gives Gyokeres a better platform for a guy to do kind of the hold-up work and he can actually stay in the box. But I do think we have to adapt more to his game. Otherwise, he's not going to be a success here just because of the type of profile he is. Like, he's not nowhere near as good as Haaland. But in terms of the type of striker he's someone that is low kind of touch volume, but when he gets in the positions, he can score goals. And that's kind of the kind of frustration with me is that I can't even say he's missed loads of chances because he doesn't get any, but obviously based on some of these, obviously because of his poor movement, but majority of it is because we don't put it in areas where he's going to be active and alive because we kind of just build up the same way in terms of attack. So yeah, frustrated, bro. But yeah, I'm still not giving up on him. Yeah, obviously he's still half of the way in the season, but yeah, he definitely has to do more himself personally. And I think the team or Arteta needs to bring up a tactic where he can kind of get more out of him. Otherwise, yeah, I don't think he's going to be a success here, if I'm being honest, bro.
Yeah, 100% agree. We've got Thom in the building.
We got Thom, man. How you doing, bro?
Master class?
Yeah, Thom.
Yeah, not too bad, bro. That's good to see you, man. Not too bad.
Masterclass tonight, Thom, or?
Oh, mate. Honestly, this guy made me look like an absolute clown.
God.
Oh, mate.
God.
Honestly, his first goal, I've not seen anything like it. But, you know, he brought the ball down on a sixpence, went one way, nutmegged me again, and then curled it round me and the other defender and right into the corner off the post. And he didn't just do it once. He did it 3-4 times. It's just unbelievable. I was just like, man, I can't get near you. I made 4 tackles on him, and he must have gone past me about 12 times. And I was delighted to get 4 tackles. He was that good.
It's almost like you don't deserve to be on tonight, you know. You don't deserve to be on here.
I subbed myself off with 5 to go. I was
God. But yeah, we'll come to you next actually before we eventually move on to Thom and Josh. Just your quick thoughts on the Wolves game quickly. It's a crap performance, but you know we got over the line. However, it shouldn't be the case, really, should it?
No, I mean, you know, I think everyone kind of was expecting the big win, and in some ways they're no-win games in it because if you don't win by 5, everyone thinks you are going to. But yeah, the performance that was it's undoubtedly the poorest performance of the season. I'm struggling to think of a poor one in a little while. It was defensively awful. You know, Wolves didn't offer a lot, and yet we made them, you know, look good on the rare occasion they did come forward. And attacking wise, I think Tops was sort of spot on there. The patterns weren't quite working. You know, I think some of that is some of the chopping and changing, sort of seeing that with Chelsea this season. But ultimately, it was too slow, too predictable. And it was a performance probably this season I thought was most reminiscent of last season. I know there are others like that, but I think that was mostly due to trying to develop to get through to a low block while you're bedding new players in. I think we're past that stage now. And that's why, for me, this was the one that kind of was the most worrying. You know, but ultimately, as you say, you've got the win there. And I think if you're going to take the silver lining, it's not the win, actually. It was the reaction from the players and the manager after the game which was genuine anger at the performance and genuine upset at the performance, which you hope will sort of bed in a bit of a lesson there, and provide that little bit of a kick up the backside, because Arsenal have picked up a lot of points this season and they haven't necessarily hit the heights they can, and maybe there was cruise control. And I think if I'm going to have the biggest issue with the game from a management point of view, it wasn't necessarily the way he set up the side. He went strong. He went stronger than I think any of us thought he would, and he was clearly frustrated with the passiveness of our defending and the passiveness of our attack. But I think the issue I'd have here was I don't think he had that side mentally right for this. I think that side went out there mentally thinking they were going to win this game and they were going to win it comfortably, which is, as fans, is acceptable, right? As fans, you're probably expected to win that. But as a player, it doesn't matter who you're playing. You have to go out there like they are a very good side and treat them with respect. And I think Arsenal just didn't do that. I think they thought it was going to be an easy day at the office. And I think the mentality wasn't right there. And I think that for me is somewhere where, the players have to take responsibility for that as well. There's a lot of leaders in there, but the manager must have seen that pre-game, because it must have been there, because from minute one, we just thought this is a training exercise. It genuinely looked like we were treating it as a training keep ball exercise rather than, try and win a Premier League football game. And however bad an opposition is, you have to treat them with respect and go at them. And Arsenal just didn't do that. And you could see, as I say, you could see the anger, from the bench on that, and you saw that's why we made substitutions so early. But that for me was, it's a slightly different take maybe to what others have got, and I think probably everyone else has sort of summed up what was happening on the pitch, and that will have been right, because but bar Bukayo Saka's crossing, I don't think it was anything we can be delighted with the game at all, is there really? I'm not sure any player bar Saka's crossing and Trossard, when he came on, really came out of that game with any credit at all. But that's sort of a little bit of a different take on it. I've heard some people sort of say that you win titles by playing badly and winning, and that's true, but I don't think that was this performance, to be honest. If you want to say that, I think you look at Brentford and Manchester United, they were performances where you could still see something and you won the game. This one, for me, Arsenal were just lucky. And the crosses were good. Look, we scored by 2 goals, they still count. Ultimately, I think, Arsenal may well have got one or both of those ones in anyway. But, it was a lucky win. Very reminiscent of Manchester United's win against Derby County in 07-08, and they did go on to win the league that year. So hopefully that's a good sign for us. But, that was a performance where Manchester United fans were having the same reaction as we are now to it, which was despair and worry. And you just have to hope it is a one-off. We've been playing badly for a little while, but not that badly. We've been playing enough to win. But this was as bad as it gets, and hopefully that will be the bottom and we come back up. But so I'm not going to panic about it, but there's not a lot of positives about that game at all.
Yeah, definitely agree. Back onto the segment of Gyokeres. Josh, I want to get your thoughts on this, because I've not actually heard, after the Wolves game, obviously, I've heard all the debates you've had with Tony, etc., about Gyokeres. You lot go back and forth, and after that Wolves game, I want to hear your thoughts on Gyokeres right now, because again, I've not really heard your perception on him at the moment. But what are you saying, bro, about this situation?
I'm still very similar thoughts to what I said last week, to be honest with you, to what I was debating with people. Bless up to Tony. But what he's debating, he's definitely lost everything with Gyokeres. But for me, I still stand by the points. Even in that Wolves game, it's the same issues we're having with him yet again. It's as you said at the start, Rory. It's a system. It's a style of play. End of the day, this manager quite clearly cannot. Doesn't suit and has not managed a proper out and out striker, which it's not really a bad thing in terms of if you can actually go over the line with, because I think City did it, didn't they? A few years ago without no striker. I think they won the league with a false 9 though. 2-3 seasons ago, wherever it was.
Yeah, they did.
Before Haaland. So if it works, it works. But we've been through this before with Gabby Jesus, who. He's came back again, but it's all about, can he stay fully fit? I saw him do this last season against Crystal Palace, bag a hat-trick, scored a brace, and then he got injured for the whole entire, for the rest of the season. I've seen it with Kai Havertz, where You know, he can have these purple patches, but when it really matters with Kai Havertz, and you know, I look at some of the games in like the FA Cup, for example, and many other games as well. But the point is, with a striker up front, like a Havertz, like a Jesus, with like a Mika Marino last season, as much as he scored a few goals here and there, the main point is we didn't go over the line. You know, we didn't win the Premier League with any of them. So if it works like a different Man City. But I look at this manager, I just don't think he can manage an out-and-out, you know, striker. And we saw it with when he did have them with the Aubameyangs. He played him on the left wing, didn't he? You know, and then Lacazette sort of falling off a cliff. He wasn't that same as he was under like an Emery, for example. You know, Emery in that season with Lacazette and Aubameyang was one of the main reasons why we got to that European final. One of the main reasons why I know in the end we capitulated, but probably should have got at least third in that season. I think in that season they scored a combined total of like over 70, 80 goals together, you know. But I look at this manager, I just don't think he has it in him to get it out, get an out-and-out striker, you know, going, if that makes sense. I feel like he obviously, I think we all quite clearly know he didn't want Gyokeres. This guy did not want Gyokeres in the summer window. We were trying to get Sesko. And no, I will not swap them right now. Do not want anyone. I never wanted Sesko anyway. But the point is, Gyokeres for me, it doesn't. I feel for the guy. Now I get what people will say. You know, number 14 shirt. He's came in with a big pressure on his name, big hype around his name. You know, but as you said, Roy, earlier, this guy, you can't just get shit overnight. This guy scored 97 goals in 102 games, wherever it was, over the past 2 seasons, right? He did it in Europe as well. All right, like, it is the way how we're playing. Again, against Wolves, he had that one chance where he got into these positions where he can be lethal, like in the box, where he spun that defender and he got his shot away. That's the only shot he had. Yeah, the rest of the time, and maybe he does have to be doing more. I think as a player, he's if you're not getting the ball, if you know, if because that's nothing as well. He's not getting the correct service, people. You know, Tots brings up a good point against Olympiacos, right? Where we saw him get quite a few chances, and maybe that was a game. But even in that game, I remember Odegaard was. I don't know if you guys remember Odegaard. I think Rice played a great ball to Odegaard. Odegaard was through, and Gyokeres makes a run, directs and everything, playing through, and then he don't decide to play him. He plays him out wide, and this is what we do. Majority of our play is out wide the whole time, and then when we do cross the ball, right, we put crosses into the box. Like Saka put a good few crosses in against Wolves and all that, right? No, like Gyokeres has got about 3 players on him anyway, and I don't think that's really his game as well. You know, like I look at Gyokeres as a very similar profile to, yes, they're not on the same level, nothing like that. But I look at very similar profile to Haaland, for example. He's just a guy that give him the chances, he can be a goal machine. But the way how we play, we're not seeing that. I'm looking at Eze and Odegaard. I'm looking at our winners, and we don't give him that service for him to, you know, play to his game like he was at Sporting, for example. And I know the league's different. It's going to be a completely different step up. It's going to be a lot more physical. But at the same time, I feel like a lot of people gave Havertz a lot of time as well. Like they gave him, I mean, we're stuck with Havertz for 2-3 seasons now, yeah? A lot of people were saying, you know, give this guy time, give this, you know, guy time and all that. And with Gyokeres, half the fans are just, they've turned on him. They've completely turned on him, you know? But I think you got to look in the bigger picture. It's the system, it's a setup. What else do you expect the guy to do when we're playing this way that just clearly doesn't suit him? Like, okay, he should try, as I said, do more. But I think the prime example we saw was maybe against Burnley. Like that Burnley game was the best game I've seen of him in an Arsenal shirt so far. That first half, it's ironic that he got injured, but you even look for, I think he set one of those goals from the corner, didn't he? Where he switched that pass. And even like the Newcastle game as well. You know, he was still trying to do his thing, even though it doesn't really suit his game, but he's still trying to hold the ball up and link up play, try and open up space for the winners as well. So there's only so much this guy can do. I think that hates over the top. I think he's becoming very scapegoated as well, you know. And I get he's meant to be that main guy and main striker, but I look at him, I think this ain't all on him. You know, this guy doesn't become bad overnight. And I think under a different system and a different manager, this guy scores more than he's scoring at least doubles it, in my opinion. I just think it's the way we're playing, bro.
Emery was in charge. I think he bagged at least 10 or 11 goals so far. Right
I
now,
agree.
not like throughout the whole season. I honestly think he would be on par with Haaland right now. Well, maybe not on par with Haaland. He would be around on 10, I'd say 11 goals. Maybe even more in all competitions.
That's the thing with someone like Emery, for example, right? Like, and before people say, I'm not saying, oh, I want him back or anything like that. Yeah, because
No.
we all know he had to go. But Emery got the best out of Aubameyang and Lacazette. Emery gets the best out of Gerard Moreno at Villarreal. Look at Ollie Watkins at Aston Villa. You know, I watched him yesterday when I played West Ham, right? Bro, that guy, I don't know, he's getting on a little bit now, but that guy, bro, he's still got it, mate. Yeah, and I remember when we try and look at him in January, he's sort of one of the strikers I would have loved to sort of sign, but maybe it's too late now. But yeah, like Ollie Watkins, Moreno at Villarreal, Aubameyang, Lacazette at Arsenal. Like, yeah, you are right. If Emery was still here, I think Gyokeres would be getting at least double than what he's getting now, to be fair.
Do you think, right, and this comment actually sums it up really, do you think Arteta actually knows how to attack down the middle? Because I honestly have never seen him, apart from the 22-23 season, I have not seen our play redirect. It always has to, depth in time. It's just jarring, really. I don't know why on earth he would do this, not play to his striker's strengths. And that's what I'm saying. There's no coincidence that Aubameyang and Lacazette didn't work out.
Yeah.
So how many strikers are we actually going to turn on before we actually start to clock the problem here? And that is the manager's system. So what do you want me to say? We've got the man Seb on screen tonight. Yeah, what are you telling me, bro? You good?
Yeah, I'm fine. Is that?
Oh gosh. Just quickly.
Get the popcorn out.
Recap. Yeah, just quickly give me that recap of the game the weekend against Wolves, because yeah, bloody hell. These lot, right, the dopamine levels when that second goal went in, Jesus Christ, against Wolves as well, went up a level. But in fact, before we eventually go to you, Steph, we'll go to Thom first, because I know he's been waiting patiently to touch on this Gyokeres situation. So we'll go to you first, and then we'll go
United
to
3-3, by the way.
Oh, just
Bruno,
saying,
3-3.
Bruno Fernandes.
Free kick. Goal.
second of the game.
But yeah, Thom, what do you make of this Gyokeres situation? Because I think you've got, I wouldn't say it's an unpopular opinion, but it's definitely unpopular, I would say, amongst the panel, I would say. But what do you make of?
I've made my opinions on Gyokeres very clear. I think coming off the back of 97 goals in 102 games, something ridiculous like that. It might not be accurate, but you know what I mean. To 4 in 16 or whatever it is. I think it is a disappointment so far, and I don't think that it's been a success. When you look at Gyokeres, he's got the number 14 on his back. He cost £60 million. To play 60 minutes and 80 minutes against Club Brugge and Wolves, and then have Gabriel Jesus substitute on, for Gabriel Jesus to do more than what Gyokeres did in little time, I think that kind of says a lot, especially if you consider the fact that Jesus has had the best part of 11 months out injured, 10, 11 months. I think something that Jesus has, which is an elite quality, I'd say, in a striker, is he's not reliant on others. He will take the ball and he'll create his own chances, whether that be running through the defenders or, little techie like 1-2s. He's got that Brazilian flair in him. He'll create his own chances. I don't think Gyokeres has done that yet. But we've
4-3, by the
seen-
way, Tom. Sorry. They just
Is
scored
it?
again. Yeah, they scored again.
Hold on.
Man United, Cunha.
Oh right.
Oh,
Yeah. Shocking defending. But where was I? Gyokeres doesn't really do that. He's very much not. He's not being helped with these tactics, and I don't think it's helped the league that he's come into either, because you're not going to find, if he was at another club, maybe in the Premier League, maybe he would find that space. But I think when you're playing for Arsenal as a number 9, you're not going to find that space against the majority of the opposition. That's why Jesus would be a better sort of striker option against these low blocks, because he'll create those chances out of nothing. Whereas Gyokeres hasn't done that yet, as I've said multiple times now. But yeah, I feel like Gyokeres, he needs service. He's not majorly getting it. I feel like we're using him more as a decoy as opposed to a player to go to. Is that a lack of trust within his teammates? Is that something that the manager's asked him to do? It's quite a good question, actually. But yeah, I think if you're going to use him to hold the ball up and create space for other players, then what's the point in spending £60 million on him? Go and get Lacazette back on for free. What's the, what we doing here? But yeah, I think Gyokeres, he needs to step up. But yeah, oh my God, Cunha, you're embarrassing. Sorry,
what?
Cunha.
What's that? What's happened now?
Josh, how do I even describe that? You're watching the game.
Yeah.
I'm not
I
even
watched
watching
it.
the game, I decided to switch it off.
He's trying to dance, I think. I'm not sure. But yeah.
All right. I might have to stick the game on, like in the background. But, out of curiosity, guys, right, about Gabriel Jesus, and I'll ask this question specifically to Tom. Would you actually keep him now?
Yes.
Just like out of
Yes.
curiosity, would you?
I
You
feel
would
like you've
keep
got
Gabriel
to.
Jesus?
I feel like you've got to now, with the impact that he's made off the bench. I feel like it's been the perfect environment for him, considering that most people thought he'd leave in January. He's not really had much pressure on him. He's kind of just going out there to perform, especially against Club Brugge when we're 3-0 up with 20 minutes to go. I feel like it's a real sort of no pressure environment for Jesus to thrive, and he got that. And he's repaying the favour that Mikel Arteta's given him. I think he's performed really well ever since he's come back. But as you say, the thing with Jesus is staying fit. Or I think it might have been Josh that said it. The thing with Jesus is staying fit. He is an unreal footballer. Quality, I think, will go down as a streets won't forget player. But we need him to stay fit. And
I mean, this is crazy, because me and you, like, how many times have we gone back and forth about Gabriel Jesus over the last year? And now it's taken you this season to go, actually, yeah, I'd keep him,
Well, look. If you're going to do that, right? How can we debate over a player that's been injured for a whole year?
Wait, what do you mean?
Well, he's not played, and also,
Yeah, but I'm talking last year.
all right, last year, you got to remember last year it took him 8 months to score a goal.
Yeah.
So that's why I wanted him gone, especially with Havertz sort of finding form, scoring goals. I thought prior to his injury, he probably would have hit 20 goals in all competitions. So, Havertz was outperforming him. I genuinely thought Nketiah was a better option. But as I said, in this no-pressure environment, similar to when he first joined, there's not really much pressure on him. He seems to thrive. And he's got that quality that Gyokeres doesn't, where he'll take the ball and he'll just make his own chance out of nothing. So, yeah, I think we should keep him for sure.
Yeah, like, the thing is, right, about Jesus, and I called it last year, I think whenever he started up front in games, right, until he got injured, I think we're actually a better team than what we were with Havertz up front. And I said that numerous times, that I think, whenever Jesus starts,
Aye, 4-4. What
No
a
way.
game, bro. 4-4.
Oh my
Oh
god!
my days.
What am I missing? You know?
Bro, you're missing.
Crazy.
Man's missed it
Oh
all.
my god! Jesus Christ! Of course, of
Wow.
course.
Mental.
But yeah, we'll go to Seb. Obviously, we got the win against Wolves as expected, but at the same time, I wasn't really surprised because I was like, I tell you what, it wouldn't surprise me if Arsenal stressed us out towards the end, and that's exactly what happened. We made Wolves look like prime AC Milan at the back, and we do it to most teams really. To be honest, Wolves are the worst team defensively in the league. And yeah, we were shite, to put it bluntly. So, yeah, what do you make of the game overall, Seb, and players that stood out, although there weren't many? So,
Absolutely disgusted. I was there, and trust me, that was absolutely disgusting.
Seb, did you stay till the end?
Yes,
Yeah, good
Good
lad.
man.
Good lad.
but I'm telling you now, that is not a game. Don't anyone celebrate that win. Don't anyone. And don't let the scoreline fool you into actually the reality. Call it out now before it's too late. Look, bottom of the table, the worst Premier League side in history at this stage of the campaign. Even Derby got more points at this stage. Even Southampton last season got more points at this stage. And yet they perform like that. And it has to take them 2 own goals and a stoppage time, desperation to win that game. Teams that win titles are not like that. I don't care what anyone says. They do not perform like that. They go out there and make a statement, put at least 3, 4, 5 past them. They're awful. 2 points they've had all season. And we're at home. Think about that as well, under the lights. Are you honestly kidding me? And this has been a continuation from Sunderland, from Chelsea, from Aston Villa. It's been a continuation of poor performances ever since that Sunderland game. The only one that was good in that run was Tottenham. But we've not been able to follow on from that. All these other games, we've been abysmal. And that sums it up. That sums it up. That they had to score all our goals for them. And it was lucky. 70 minutes to break that deadlock from an unlucky deflection of a keeper. And then what infuriates me, why are we sitting back and letting them play? Why? What was all that about? And you just knew they were going to score. You just knew. The whole crowd was like, they're going to score. And they did. You just knew what was going to happen. Tell me any team that's played Wolves that has allowed them to play. Tell me any team has done that. Even Burnley didn't let them play. Crying out loud. We are supposed to be winning the title. And this is supposed to be the best team in the Emirates era. And they are supposed to be the worst team in Premier League history. Didn't look like that to me. And to sum it up, how this game went, look at Declan Rice's reaction in that second goal and at full time. Go and watch him. Look at him. Instead of don't celebrate the result, look at him. Go and watch his.
I will say this though, Seb. I think Declan Rice still needs to take a little bit of responsibility for not closing down the cross. But then again, he showed some minimals, to be fair to him.
Yeah, probably, yeah. But trust me, look at him.
Mm.
Honestly, that was embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. And the longer the game went on, I was getting impatient. When it got to 40 minutes, I was ranting, come on, why don't we score right now? And the longer it went on, I'm just like, I really was like that. I was like, come on. Wolves. And for anyone that says, "Oh, but champions play badly and find ways to win," I'm not having that. I'm not having that for this one. If it was a better team, fair enough. But I'm not having that against Wolves. I'm not having that. Anyone who says that is part of the reason why we don't win titles. Can't be saying it's every time. Come on. Wake up. These performances are not good enough. And you have to call them out now before it's too late. Because these next 6 games are games identical that we didn't win last season. We've got to win them all. Because Man City are right on the hot on the heels and Aston Villa are right there. And if we don't fix up, you know what will happen. City will overtake us. And then once that's happened, door shuts. Then another season, another what if. Door shuts. And for anyone saying don't panic, it's every reason to panic. When you're watching this, when you're watching Villa, when you're watching Chelsea, when you're watching Sunderland. And out of those 4 games, 3 of them we have conceded in stoppage time. Are you having a laugh? In stoppage time. 3 times. 3 times in those games. Don't make me laugh. That ain't title. Teams that win titles do not constantly concede goals in stoppage time. Do not. They don't. It's an absolute joke. Absolute shambles. I'm sorry. Anyone who's celebrating that result and who's saying, "Oh, but it's the way champions find ways to win," go and have a look at Declan Rice. Look at him. Your player. A player that most of you all demand should be captain of this club. Go and look at him. Because do you honestly think Tony Adams will think that's acceptable? No. Do you honestly think Martin Keown will think that's acceptable? No. Do you honestly think Patrick Vieira will think that's acceptable? No. So those are the standards, and they all won titles.
So sorry, Seb. What I actually didn't see. What was Declan Rice's reaction?
He was like, no.
It's what I was alluding to earlier. The reaction from the players was one of, you could see the anger and disappointment in their face, and you could see it on the manager too. And I think
exactly. You could make that same argument about Declan Rice for Mikel Arteta, but it's still poor from him.
Yeah, I mean, it's the only silver lining of the game, isn't it? I mean, the 2 silver linings are we didn't lose at least, but as Seb said, it was a lucky performance. You look. I said it earlier. You look at the Brentford game, Manchester United game. They're the types of games you win by playing badly, and you can look at that and go, "That's how champions win the game."
If it was that, fair enough.
This one was lucky, but the silver lining, as I said earlier, is the reaction of the players at full time was one of relief, but also anger. And the same from the manager. You could see him throughout, absolutely furious, and afterwards. That is the only silver lining there, that this provides them a little bit of a kick up the backside. I mean, the only thing I would say is that, every side does go through dips. If this is our dip and this is the end of our dip, then actually it's not the end of the world. It's whether it continues or whether you go into other ones. Because
it needs to be the end of the dip now, because City are 2 points behind. So it needs to be the end of the dip right now. So
I don't disagree, right? It needs to be fixed quite quickly. Also, at the same time, like I think there was a long way to go in this. I was saying it when we were playing really well, that I thought that I still think after winning
in that match.
I didn't say about the match. If you let me finish, you might find out. But what I was saying was, when we were playing well earlier in the season, my view was that I still think we're going to win the league, but it's not going to be a runaway, right? There's still going to be peaks and troughs, and there's going to be ebbs and flows in the league, and that's still the case now. And I think there's going to be going on. Manchester City have started to pick up a bit of form, but I still think there was a bit of a soft underbelly on them, which didn't exist a couple of years ago. So I think there's a long way to go in this league title. But obviously, if you carry on playing like that, you're not going to win the league. But but I'm certainly not sort of throwing down hosting the white flag right now. I think that we are still very much capable of winning the league, but obviously you can't play like that anymore.
Well, a lot of things need to wake up and improve. We are going to win this league because we're not going to win anything playing like this.
No, they're playing like that. There's no way you win the league like that. This
is why I came to you. Why I was so critical about Sunderland, because it was a continuation. That was the start of it, and it continued. I saw it continuing on and on and on.
I thought it was drop points as well. So
look what's happened since. It was 7-2.
Seb, do you reckon we drop points in that one as well? The Sunderland game. Sunderland, the 2-2 one.
Oh, easily drop points. Yeah. To everyone who's saying decent points, give your head a wobble. 90-minute equaliser. Give your head a wobble. I don't care if it's a hard place to go. If you want to win titles, you go to those grounds and you win. You find ways to win at these hard away grounds.
Josh, do you want your fishing rod back?
Never till next week. You find a way to win. I'm sorry.
Have you got the copy ready, Thom?
I am still seething about the weekend. I am still seething.
Next week, I want more than a win. I don't just want a scrappy 1-0, 2-1 like it was the other day. I want convincing performances.
That's what it should. Yeah, that's what we should. That's what we were supposed to get at Wolves. That's what we were supposed to get. And everyone said, "Oh, it'll be fine," because I said at least 3-goal win.
Yeah.
How wrong was I?
Yeah.
Now, and I should have known. I should have known what this manager's like. I should have known what this manager's like. Honestly, when we're sitting back, that must be an instruction for the manager. I don't believe it's a bird. That must be an instruction. Sitting back. When sitting back against a team, sitting back.
Has there been another goal, Josh?
Bournemouth should have won it, mate. Bournemouth should have won it. Oh my days! What?
Semenyo's on the ball. It's played back. Cross comes in.
I'm about a minute behind.
Oh, great save! Yeah. Good save. Good reaction.
Save, to be fair.
Honestly, trust me. Honestly, trust me.
The goalkeepers have had stinkers today.
Even Lamens.
Yeah.
United's keeper, who everyone hypes up to be his next big thing.
Look
at how everyone hyped up.
Oh, you Schmeichel in disguise.
Look at how everyone hyped up Vicario, and look how awful he is.
Yeah, agreed. I think especially Petrovic, he's been woeful today. Petrovic.
Oh yeah.
But still, let's get back to. Let's actually get back.
Let's
get back to reality. Is that he's not good enough. It's not good enough. And Miss Manager needs.
Sorry, Seb, is it good enough? I couldn't quite tell.
What was I been telling you all this time? What was I texting you through the game? What was I texting you all yesterday? Do you honestly think I'm satisfied with that rubbish?
At what point did I say I was satisfied with it?
You said, "Oh, don't panic. It's awful."
Yeah, I said, "Don't panic." That's not the same as saying he's satisfied with it, is it?
No.
No, exactly. There you go. I didn't say I was satisfied.
Take the points and we move. Take the points and we move. Not me. I'm looking at the
Okay. When did I say that, Seb? When did I say that? Just out of interest.
I'm sure you have.
No, I'll just double check. Don't worry, I've got the receipts. I'll just double check.
Got the receipts.
We take the points and we move. Oh,
okay,
champions, we still find ways to win. Remember Man United away at Derby? They struggle 1-0. Bayern Munich last night, bottom of the table, minds like a straight to draw.
Okay, but that wasn't no, because you're not. That's not correct. That is not correct. You said you cannot. No. Not to that question. If we're going to use what I said, let's at least make it relevant to what I actually said. You said you can't lose or have performance like that against sides at the top of the league and win the title. I said you can do that because history says you can. 07-08 says it. Bayern Munich, we all think are going to win the league this year. They drop points at the weekend. You can do it, but at no point did I say we move, and at no point did I say that was a title of that was a performance of champions. At no point did I say that.
Okay,
at no point.
Maybe you didn't say the second bit about title win.
I didn't say about any of it. It's just not true.
Yeah, but no.
I'm sorry,
right.
It's not true.
Okay, right. Well, okay. Let me address those other two things about Bayern Munich and Man United. Right, I'm going to address that. Right then. at that point, first of all, Man United were away at Derby and we were at home to Wolves. Secondly, at that time, you could afford a few bumps and still win the title, and a few of these. But the same with in Bundesliga. The league is not the league. Your league is not like fine margins there. It's Bayern Munich who will win. Will win. They can have a few. They can have a few and still win because they're so far ahead. This league, you can't, especially with City on your backside. You cannot have that.
Oh, but we didn't lose. But it's not what I said. And by the way, having just searched, I never said we win and we move. Just for clarity, because it did come up with nothing found. So
Oh my god. Thom, do you have to go or?
Yeah. It's been a pleasure. It's been class. I will be watching on after this. After I've gone.
Oh,
it's been great.
Yeah, just remind them where they can find you real quick.
In the description. Thank you for having me on. You can find me on the 14th Canon, YouTube and Instagram, and on Twitter as well. Bournemouth another chance.
Yeah, how did not score that chance, man? How did not score?
But yeah, thank you very much for having me on. If you haven't already, go and watch my latest video. Hopefully it will bait you as much as it has the rest of them. And
your comment section was interesting on that one.
Yes, thank you very much, and I will see you later.
Have a good one, Thom, mate.
Yeah, you too. Enjoy the rest of the stream.
See you later.
Big up, man.
Bye, Thom.
Enjoy your box office VIP seats. Anyway, see you later.
But yeah, I actually didn't get Dom and Seb's perspective on Gyokeres. I've already gone through Tops and Josh Paul's. We'll go with Dom first. Obviously, Gyokeres seems like he's in some sort of conundrum here. 4 goals in 16 Premier League games isn't great, is it? But
No.
do you put that down to the system or is it the player? Because I think all of us here, apart from Thom maybe, said that it's pretty much down to the system. But what do you make of it?
I think it's a bit of both. So I think, if we start with the player and then the system, I think in terms of the player, I think he's got to make those movements swifter into the box. There's a couple of more goals I think he could have had if he's in the box quicker. And I think he will need to adapt to the fact that he's going to have less time and space. So I think there still needs to be a little bit of patience there. I think we're starting to see it come. Olympiacos, someone mentioned absolutely right. And I think that first half against Burnley is the one I'd really point to, where he started to make the movements into the zones where Arsenal could find him, and Arsenal players started to find him. I think there's also an element here that the Arsenal players need to look quicker, particularly in transition, to get to him. They are not used to having a player running behind, and they need to get that ball to him faster in those positions. We face a low block more often, so you're not going to see him get the space he's used to, which is why I think he needs a little bit more adaptation period. Because of that, and it's a real shame he got injured, because I think he was starting to find that form. So I think they're the two things that the players and Gyokeres himself can do. But I think there is something here on the system. We're talking in the summer about Gyokeres versus Sesko, and I preferred Gyokeres because I just felt that his experience coming in and he offered something a little bit different was what Arsenal needed. Sesko was very similar to what we had, but I think there is a period here where Arsenal are not used to having that number 9 to go in behind. Gabriel Jesus was kind of that, but we haven't really had him since that World Cup year where his knee went down, because he's not been back constantly enough to see that. And I think there is something in here in terms of the way we build up is kind of so ingrained that we're waiting for them to drop in short, and when something goes in behind, we're not used to it, which sort of talks to that second point I was making about playing the ball quickly enough. So I think Arteta definitely needs to adapt to that and see us get Gyokeres forward quicker, but also get the players looking quicker, because getting Gyokeres to come short is something we can do from time to time because you want to mix it up, but that's not his game. It's not what you sign him for. You're going to have to do that against the low blocks, but actually can we get that quicker? And I just don't think that's there, and I think that it is there on the manager, and that's where he's got to adapt quicker. I think you made a really good point, Rory, earlier, and it was something I was going to bring up at the time. we don't go through the middle enough. And I think Gyokeres allows you to do that. Again, what we've done is we played the ball in. Havertz, Marino have come short. We flicked it out to the wide players, and that's where we've looked to sort of get in behind, get a little bit of space, particularly down that right-hand side. I still think you can do that with Gyokeres, but what we've then got to do is cut it back because he's coming from deeper, which is what he was used to against when he played for Sporting, or again, just get that ball forward quicker, almost sort of, a 1-2 there to spin him in behind. And we don't do that because that is how the manager sets it up. And he's done that for 3 years and he's had relative success, but it hasn't got us over the line. But that suited the players we had now. We've now got a different player and you have to adapt to that. And I think Mikel Arteta does need to do a better job there. So I think with a little bit of time, I think that can come. We were starting to see it before the injury, but it certainly needs to be quicker because, we don't have time to wait. But it goes back to what I was saying last week. I think against certain sides, you want Victor Gyokeres playing, and against other sides, you want, someone like Kai Havertz playing because it will suit the way the opposition playing. And Arsenal now have that advantage in them. They have that player in the squad, and they need to use that tactically, and they need to be smarter about it. Personally, I'd have gone with. I don't know if he was fit or not, but assuming he was fit, I'd have gone with Gyokeres against Villa because they play that high line. That's when you want him there. Now, he may not have been fit. It may have been a reward from Mikel Moreno, manager saying, if you play well, you're going to stay in the side. I don't know what the decision-making was. I wasn't shocked by Moreno, but it was a game for me for Gyokeres. And that's the sort of thing, against Tottenham, arguably still want that. I know they're lower than they used to be. Against those sorts of sides, you definitely want Gyokeres playing. Against someone like a Wolves, you do probably want that player to sort of try and bring them out a little bit more. But I think it is a combination of both. But there's certainly work to do, and I think it's one of the things I'd be looking at working on this week, because I think Everton on Saturday is going to be a tougher game than maybe people appreciate. I don't think it's going to be a walkover, particularly in an evening kickoff. But I think that Everton crowd are going to feel they can get at Arsenal a little bit, and that might well roar them forward a little bit further than you might otherwise imagine, and that might allow Gyokeres to get in behind, but only if on transition, when Everton do go forward and urge forward, that we get it there forward. And that's what Arsenal, I think, should be working on this week for me. So I don't think it's over by any stretch of the imagination for Victor Gyokeres. I think he's being somewhat scapegoated at the moment unfairly by the fan base, but there's certainly work to do from both parts there, and both parts have to take the blame for how he's started. Because while I didn't expect sporting numbers, that would be unbelievable in the Premier League. It's much tougher. I think we all expected more than 4 from 16.
Yeah, fair enough. Seb, what do you make of this Gyokeres situation? Do you put it down to the system or is it the player? Basically, same question as I asked pretty much everyone on the panel.
Okay, well, I'm going to be writing a piece on this later this week because obviously this is a topic that has caused a lot of talking points, especially in the last few games. And there's 2 ways you can look at it. First of all, yes, maybe we're not adapting to his strengths, because the team needs to be quicker at finding him in the box for someone that thrives in transition. But there is also maybe he's not a tactical fit, but also we need to play to his strengths a bit better, because maybe playing Odegaard more centrally instead of on the right in that midfield trio could help, because you see on international stage when he feeds Haaland, that could work. And also,
that's a really good point, actually, Seb, by the way, on that Norway connection.
And also, the team needs to be better at finding him in the box, because Gyokeres does need to improve his anticipation, because at the moment it just isn't clicking for him, because he seems to have lost that spark and he doesn't know when the service is going to come to him. But at the same time, yeah. I think it is a mixture of both, but now he's got genuine competition in the side with Gabriel Jesus coming back, Kai Havertz coming back, Mikel Moreno can play in that false 9. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. But the goals do need to come sooner rather than later, because this is another thing. If Arsenal do not fix this, they're going to fall short again. This is something they've got to fix. But
yeah,
what do we do though? What do we do?
I don't know.
What do we do if he just continues like this? What do we drop him for Havertz again? Do we drop him for Jesus again?
We're going to have to do something. Yeah.
What happens if we win the league from here, though, despite him scoring only like 4 goals? Like, fair enough. Like, you know,
And fair enough. Then everyone can say, well, next season, hopefully, Fenny will come. Fenny will be fine.
Yeah.
If we win the league, no matter what, I'm fine. But that's if.
Yeah.
If you don't, then I'm sorry. I'm just going to be sorry.
Yeah.
Because
That's not, I mean, this is another thing. This is another thing as well. Like, he didn't really have a pre-season, did he? Like, he had, 20 odd minutes against Tottenham. He had, I think, 60 minutes against Villarreal. I think he came off against Bilbao, and then he's just been thrown straight back into the deep end. So I kind of want to see him, like, next season with a full pre-season, which he's going to get, by the way. Like, considering the World Cup, and he's going to be there basically for that pre-season tour. So he's got that opportunity to sort of increase that fitness. But we're going to move on. Just to wrap up the show tonight. Everton
It
at
is
the
Christmas
weekend.
after all, Rory, so we can wrap things up, yeah?
I don't know why I laughed at that. That's terrible. But yeah, Everton at the weekend. I think when my head is at with this Everton game, right, I think this is actually make or break for the title race.
Yes.
Because you think about it,
Yes.
Man City play before us, so they've got the opportunity to move above us, basically, before we eventually play.
And they're playing
And
West
if
Ham
we
as
don't
well,
beat
aren't they?
Everton, when they've got injuries, they've got players going to AFCON, this should be a walk in the park. And considering Everton, right, considering their new stadium, you're expecting them to have a decent home record, right? But I've not really been too intimidated with their home record, if you ask me. They have conceded goals. They lost to Tottenham 3-0, 4-1 to, or was it 4-2? I can't remember. I think it was 4-1 to Newcastle. So they have actually conceded goals at their ground. So there's no excuses still to go there and not pick up 3 points when they've got injuries. And Arteta's actually he's not got a terrible record against David Moyes. I think he's only lost once, if I'm not mistaken. So his record's not too bad. So we should be going to Everton and we should be dispatching these lot. But we'll go to Josh first. Like, where is your head at basically going into this Everton game? And do you think the same that this is make or break for the title?
I think so, yeah. I have to agree. I mean, yeah, as you said, Man City play before us, they play West Ham as well, at home. So, you're expecting that for them to win that as well. But yeah, I mean, Everton, like I said it earlier, no Njaya, which I think will be a massive miss for them. No, Jack Grealish is doubtful. I think they have another player. Is it Idrissa Gueye as well? He's going to AFCON.
Yes, no excuses. With all those players out, no excuses.
All those players out, but at the same time, look how we played against Wolves. It don't.
No, this is what worries me. I know.
I look at it like, I mean, Wolves. Look at the squad they had, and we still struggled. So I look at it like Everton. Obviously, we're in the new stadium. It's under lights. I think Dom said this earlier about the fans. We'll push their players on a little bit, so we may get a bit more space and all that. But I look at it, it's always been over the years, isn't it? Going away to Everton, it's always been a tricky ground to go to. Look at last season, we had the 1-1 draw. The year before that, we only won 1-0. I think that was one of the first times we won there in quite a while, really. So I just think this game kind of screams at 8 p.m. under lights, Everton fired up for it. It kind of screams like a bit of a banana skin game. It's in December as well, and the recent performances doesn't give me any confidence whatsoever. But yeah, I said earlier, these next couple of games will really sort of see where we're at. For this title race, it's mad how we've sort of fallen off a little bit in terms of Man City right on the on our tails right now when we were 7 points clear of them a few weeks ago. So yeah, I mean, I think we go there and with a slightly weakened Everton team. I still think they've done all right this season, to be fair. I remember, was it last year before? Well, when Moyes came in, they was really struggling before Moyes, but he's came in there and he's got them they don't see a team that's going to get relegated, nothing like that. So they're definitely up for it, man. And I think it'd be a tough game. Obviously, are we doing the lineup now or later?
Oh yeah. What would be your lineup going into the game? Forgot to ask that.
I go Raring, obviously back four. You know Ben White anymore, so Timber right back. I can go Saliba and then Capier, 2 centre backs. Calibre, you back, won't you? Because you just suspended for one game.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So
Where's Calafury, Dom?
He's been playing well this season for a scrub.
Cool.
He has been playing very well, actually.
Cool. But what was all this last year? Is it the same manager again?
Well, same manager's managing him this year, Seb.
No. Last season, he was the main meant to be the marquee signing. And look how that turned out.
Yeah, but that's not his fault, to be fair.
No. Especially when you waste all that time and effort to bring him in.
But that's what I'm saying. It's not really his fault, is it?
Now he stayed injury-free. He's been playing well.
He's one of the few that actually.
You're okay, cool, but 1 season, 2 dates.
I honestly think he's been one of our best players this season. To be fair,
It's
crazy to say that because I've always seen him as a centre back. To be honest with you, but
you watched.
I've not really rated Calafiori, to be honest with you. But this season I've got to give it to him. He's probably
fair play to him. Yeah, he's
one of our most improved players alongside Trossard for me. But carry on, John.
He stayed fit and kept his place in the team, and he's seen the reward for that.
Yeah. 100%.
But carry on, John.
Yeah, so Calla at left back, midfield 3. Probably have to be Rice, Zubi again in the pivot for this type of game, and then you go Eze, Odegaard. Probably go Eze.
He'll start Odegaard, won't he? And then he'll play Eze on the left.
I think Trossard will play on the left.
Yeah, Trossard will
start. If Trossard's fully fit, he's got to start on the left. There's no doubt about that. Like, he's been one of our best players this season, our best attacker this season for sure. But my feel with Trossard is he actually 100%? Because this guy scored against Villa, he got subbed off, and after that he just was not even fit whatsoever. So I don't want the same situation to happen again with him. Like, we've got to be really careful. I don't want another one of these players that gets rushed back. But yeah, Trossard, and then you know what? I start Noni Madueke, mate. I'd actually start Madueke. Like, what? I was shocked that this guy didn't start against Wolves. Like, I'm sorry, this is his reward he gets after balling out against Brentford. He gets dropped for Villa, and he balls out, scores a brace against Club Brugge, and he gets dropped again. What's going on here? I'll start Noni Madueke, man, for this game. I think his recent form deserves a start for him. So
could he be an option on the left, Josh? Because I think you've got a point about Trossard, right? If he's not fully fit, I agree. I don't think you risk it.
I would be thinking what Darren said in the chat, Jesus on the left.
I wouldn't mind that, actually.
Yeah, because I remember me and Thom said at the start of the season that I think Jesus could take that left wing spot. Considering he doesn't really shoot that often.
Jesus could play both. He could play both wings though, because was it against Man City years ago with a 0-0? He played on the right as well.
He played on the left, actually.
Oh, was that the left?
It was Saka on the right.
I don't think Jesus has ever got a goal or an assist for Arsenal on the right, by the way.
No, you have to play him down the middle.
Down the middle. I've got a feeling that he will play I think he will actually start Jesus for this game.
Yeah. Thing is, he drifts out to the left anyway. So
yeah, I think after the impact that he made, like the slight impact he made in, he looked sharp off the bench against Bruges. Obviously, like, he unlucky not to score, and then obviously off the bench, I know it's not own goal, but he was there sort of thing. I think, and the way our Gyokeres is performing, I've got a feeling that he would actually start Jesus. But
do you reckon he's fit to start?
Now go Marino, won't he? If he doesn't start Gyokeres.
If he doesn't start Gyokeres, maybe Marino then.
I hope it's not Marino, because the last 3 away games he started, we've not won any of them.
Yeah, I hope it's all. I see. I'll still play Gyokeres. I still play Gyokeres personally, but we'll see.
Dom, what about you, bro?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Josh. I think this is going to be an interesting game. Everton missing a couple of their best players. I think you've got to take advantage of that. I imagine Jack Grealish will will start. I think if you're David Moyes, you've got to take the risk on him in that one. You're not going down, but if you could get a win against Arsenal, that could really ramp up your season and really give a lot of confidence. So, but obviously the AFCON boys won't be there. I think, back four wise, it's going to have to be Timber at right back. Saliba, Nkapie and Calafiori will be the back four. And that's relatively settled. I think the sort of chopping and changing the back four hasn't really helped us with these games recently. But that's played together enough that you'd be quite comfortable with that. I think it will be Rice and Zubimendi in a double pivot. Rice hopefully will have overcome his illness because he looked a bit tired by the end on Saturday, and he'd been ill all week. So hopefully he'll be fine. Odegaard will play in the 10. And then if Trossard is fit, he plays on the left, and Saka, I think, on the right after his performance the other day. But that's really harsh on Madueke. But I think that's going to be the way of it is this season. We've got so many players that someone's got to go. But I wonder if Trossard's not fit, whether it's Madueke. And I think Gyokeres will start up front. You don't want to see Moreno in for this game. I think Gyokeres almost needs to be played in form and a little bit of an arm around the shoulder and a bit of confidence from him. And I wouldn't be starting Jesus at this point, not because his performance don't deserve it, but I think he's been out for a year, and we saw what happened to Ben White, who's come back from a load of injuries. He shouldn't have played on Saturday, but every single person I know had him in the starting lineup. And actually, you look at it in hindsight and go, actually, he's not played 4 consecutive games in a long time. Should well have been rested there. And it's the one thing I did disagree with Arteta in the post-match press conference when he said he didn't have a choice about playing. It was like, you could have played Miles Lewis-Skelly and moved Timber out to right back, which is obviously his natural position. That's the one thing I did disagree with Arteta's post-match comments on. But hindsight, most people had White starting that one, so I think you got to put Jesus in that category. I think if this was Wednesday, I'd almost be tempted to leave Jesus out entirely, given the amount of time he's had off. But he's had a whole week, so I think something like that would be the lineup. I think it's really just a left wing position that's probably up for grabs. I think the rest of the side will pretty much pick itself. But Arsenal, you've got to just hope that they get the reaction from that Wolves game, and certainly they would have had the mother of all bollockings in that dressing room at half time. But it looked like they were going to give it to themselves as well, to be fair.
Yeah, Tops, what about you, bro? What would your lineup be?
Obviously, what Dom was saying in terms of the lineup, man. Obviously, Raya in goal. You've got to go with Timber, obviously, Nkapie, Saliba, and Calafiori back from suspension at left back. Then the midfield kind of is Zubimendi, Rice, and then Odegaard in the 10. I think with Eze, I can't remember him having a good performance away from home in the Premier League, to be honest with you, whether it's on the 10 or on the left. So I definitely think he'll probably go with Odegaard in this one. And then, in terms of on the left, I think, Trossard having a week free of not obviously playing and stuff, I think he'll probably favour him to kind of come on. I know he obviously played about half a game against Aston Villa, played 30 minutes at the weekend, so I think he's probably going to go and start him. He's probably been our best attacking player to the consistency this season. Then on the right, obviously he's going to go with Saka with obviously the performance he had on the weekend as well. Bit harsh on Madueke, but I think he might have an impact coming off the bench. And then Gyokeres for me up front, man. I think, like I said before, we do lose a lot of control when Marino's up front away in the away games. I think not having that kind of presence, that centre forward presence that can occupy centre backs, kind of make runs and channels and kind of make the other opposition think when they're at home. I think when you have that kind of false nine dropping deep and stuff like that, you see a lot of kind of wave of pressure. You've seen it at the Chelsea game, obviously the Sunderland game as well away, even the Villa game in the first half. You couldn't really gain a load of momentum without like a focal point. So I think Gyokeres starts for me up front, man. And like obviously Dom was saying, man, I think it's pivotal that we get not only the 3 points but a good performance as well. Obviously Arteta doesn't really have a particularly great record against David Moyes. I mean, I think David Moyes beat him 3-1 in the Carabao Cup for West Ham a couple of seasons ago, beat him obviously 2-0 at the Emirates with West Ham as well. And then last season it was 2 draws, 0-0 at the Emirates and 1-1 at Goodison Park. So it does have a bit of problems breaking a David Moyes team down. So got to be very interesting to see how we kind of capitalize. But a massive blow that we haven't got Gabriel, because Everton are very, very poor on corners, man. I've seen Tottenham score a few corners at their ground as well as other teams as well. So that's kind of going to be a big blow. But hopefully we can still get a couple of goals, maybe from open play. And hopefully Gyokeres can get back on the score sheet, man, because I think it is important during this period of time that we actually get some of our attacking plays scoring goals again, man. Because, again, Eze's not scored since the hat-trick against Spurs. Gyokeres ain't scored since Burnley. Martinelli's only got 1 Premier League goal. So yeah, it's looking a bit bleak when you look at obviously our attacking players scoring in the Premier League. So hopefully we can get this one, and then obviously we've got a game 3 days later against Crystal Palace in the Carabao Cup. So that's when I think you'll probably see the likes of Madueke, Jesus start probably in that game. Bit of rotation there in the forward line, man. But yeah, hopefully we can get 3 points and yeah, stay top of the league, because I think if we don't get 3 points, City probably will be top, because I expect them to beat West Ham.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Seb?
3 points. Only.
Yes,
3 points only.
Another way to
Especially
summarize
with all
that.
the players they've got out. If we do not take advantage of this, I'm telling you now. And what's the people going to say? Oh, but Wolves will sign their champions. Oh, don't panic. I'm panicking already. 3 points only. And a full week's rest as well. So no more excuses here.
Yeah.
And yes, I do expect us to win, because we're better than them. And if you want to be winning titles, you go to those grounds and you get results. Find a way. It can't just be Gabriel out, then everything unravels. Can't just be that. There's more than that. Because don't forget, he played against Sunderland.
Yeah.
And then look what happened. You forget that. He played at Anfield. And then what happened? With those awful tactics.
Played against Man City as well.
City
Yeah,
as well,
exactly.
right? At the Emirates.
Yeah, well, there you go.
What would your lineup be?
Raya, Timber, Saliba, Hincapié, Calafiori, Zubimendi, Rice, Odegaard, Saka, Trossard, Gyokeres.
And what would your score prediction be?
Arsenal should be winning this 2-0.
2-0?
2-0
Top,
Arsenal.
you do score predictions, by the way, bro.
Arsenal should be winning this 2-0.
I'll go 2-1, bro. I think we'll concede probably, but we just need the win, man, to be honest with you, like Seb said. So hopefully we can get it.
Dom?
I was hoping you wouldn't ask. 2-1 as well. I think I agree with Tops. I think we'll concede a goal. When you're making as many changes as you are at the back, as I say, I think that's as close to the sort of most consistent, strongest lineup we've got. But I think that's partly why we're conceding at the moment. So I think we will concede to Everton, but I hopefully we'll win it 2-1.
What about you, Josh?
1-0 to the Arsenal. We get like a set piece or something.
How many predictions, right, have you said 1-0, by the way?
To be fair, I got the Brentford one spot on. I got the Club Brugge one spot on. And then the one that got me done was the Wolves. I said 4-0 against Wolves. So
fair enough. But yeah, we're going to wrap it up because it's 10:30 and we've been going on for nearly 2 hours. But again, it's been a brilliant show, and yeah, I appreciate everyone who's tuned in. I appreciate the panel as well, taking your time out. We're going to go round the whole panel, and yeah, we'll start with Josh. Again, like, they know where they can find you, but just in case, to those newcomers, like, where can they find you exactly?
Yeah, first and foremost, thanks for having me on, Rory, man. As always, great show, great panel as well. Always a pleasure. I always look forward to this every Monday. So yeah, big up the chat as well for all the comments and the likes and all that stuff. But yeah, you can find me at True Gooner on mainly on YouTube. We're on the road to like 21K now. So
it's just amazing the warmth in the last year, right? I mean,
crazy,
absolutely
mate.
unbelievable. Very well deserved.
Nah, thank you, mate. Really appreciate it. But yeah, I'll be just doing, and obviously, like, we got a week off now, don't we? So it's been so hectic with like the Wednesdays or the Tuesdays, and then the Saturdays or Sunday game as well. But yeah, we got a nice week off. But I cover both Arsenal men and the women as well. So the women play on Wednesday, so we'll be back with that, and then just build up like a preview, press conference, reaction, and all that to the Everton game, really, man. But yeah, appreciate having me on, man, and great show.
Big up, bro. Dom, I mean, did you say you bought some coffee beans today?
Yeah. Had me coffee. What was I going to say? No, that's tickled me. What was I going to say? Yeah, you can find me at Arsenal Domination. I have shorts out most days. Got one out tomorrow morning at 8:01, as always, or most of the time. They're out at 8:01. Covering who tomorrow's one actually is on who covers Timber at right back, because obviously he's not going to be able to play all the way through. And also, you know, a little bit of a shout out to Tomiyasu, who signed for Ajax today. So wishing him well at Ajax, because obviously a horrible way for his career to end.
Who messed him up?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Who messed him up when he was here?
I was going to say we've got man like Michael in the chat as well, so I don't know how he's feeling about the signing.
Who bought him and who messed him up?
Just give it a break.
No. Every single thing needs to be called, because he's doing it again. Look, he was doing it with Ben White now. You're doing the same with Ben White.
Yeah, I know. I just said so earlier.
Do me a favour.
I literally just said he shouldn't have played him earlier.
No, he shouldn't have. But who did? So what? So we're going to accept that as well? When there's
At what point did I accept it?
Accept that as well. Not me.
I didn't accept it. Why are you having a go at me? I didn't.
Because he's
literally just said.
And look what he's doing with Rice. He's running that guy into the ground. You ruined Saka last year. You run that guy into the ground. He doesn't learn. He doesn't learn.
Well, Arsenal have made Arsenal this season have made substitutions earlier than any other manager and have rotated more.
Rice is playing every single minute. Why did Saka come on the other night when he knew he shouldn't have done?
Well, Haaland plays every single minute for City.
No,
he can have a go at Pep.
No, he doesn't.
No, he got subbed in the 92nd minute on Saturday or Sunday, whenever they played. You see City fans having a meltdown about it, did you?
Silly me. Why did we sign Norgard? Why are we never playing him? What was the point?
Well, I think that is a fair point. Order!
We got to wrap up.
That scared me so much. That scared me so much. That's why I'm being kicked off.
We got to wrap up, guys. Seb, is there any articles coming up?
It's going to be one on Gyokeres. I'm going to analyse his situation and tell you
this week. Yeah,
this week. They usually go out on match day. So there'll be one this week. Yeah.
Yeah, and finally, Tops. I mean, I know it was a late call, but thanks for coming on, my bro, and just, quickly tell us where they can find you, because, again, debut on the channel, and I've enjoyed it, to be honest with you. But take it away, bro.
Yeah, man. Thanks again for obviously inviting me on, man. You can find me on T-Transfer Sports. Do obviously watch-alongs for Arsenal and other games, Man City, Liverpool, and obviously do some shorts on there. For all different teams, man. So yeah, check me out on there, man. But yeah, pleasure as always. Big up the panel as well. Big up yourself, bro. And can't wait to come back on again.
Yeah. So, guys, in terms of the channel this week, probably a match reaction which will be longer than 40 seconds against Everton. There might be a live show here and there, but that's about it. But I do appreciate everyone tuning in. And yeah, guys, subscribe if you are new. Subscribe to the panel and follow Seb on Instagram, Twitter, etc. And we'll catch you in the next one in a bit, guys.